Hi everybody, welcome inside the CrossFit Update Studios. Sean Woodland and Tommy Marquez back with you as we continue to preview all of the age group divisions for the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Now less than 4 weeks away before we are in Madison to kick things off there. Today we are looking at the 35 to 49-year-old men's divisions, and there are going to be some great matchups to watch in these age groups.
No doubt, and very unlike the women's competition, all three of the men's champions in these divisions from last year are returning, so it only adds to the excitement of building some storylines from some athletes we've already seen excel at the highest level.
We are going to be with you every week as we continue to creep closer to the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Today we're looking at the Masters men, the 35 to 49-year-old age groups. If you missed the women's show, you can go watch that. That was yesterday. And then tomorrow, Tommy goes inside the leaderboard with a Masters edition of that. And then on Friday, we will catch up with Kyle Kasperbauer via Skype. But let's start with that 35 to 39-year-old division where Kyle Kasperbauer returns to defend his crown. He is your top seed with 54 points coming out of the age group online qualifier. Alexandro Jolivet is 14 points back. Adam Izzo sits in third. And there are quite a few unfamiliar names there in the top 10. We'll have more on them in a second. But Kyle Kasperbauer looks like he might have this division on lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what he's done already. He won the qualifier this year. He's the reigning champ last year. That already puts him in the conversation. But then you look at the competition he's going to face at the Games this year. The next 6 athletes from 2017 behind him at the Games leaderboard are gone. Completely new people. Just his level of experience has me feeling like he's going to be hard to unseat. He's the only athlete ever to be on the podium for the team competition, the individual competition, and the Masters competition as well. He's been competing at the Games since 2009. He's won his regional 3 times. He's basically accomplished everything. And I think it's safe to say that this is his competition to lose at this point.
His name is the one that jumps out at you when you look at the top seeds coming in, and there are some unfamiliar names there though, but who's someone who might push him now for that top spot on the podium?
There's a guy that caught my attention maybe after the qualifier, and Adam Izzo. He was 3rd overall after the qualifier and arguably had the best 4 workouts of any individual athlete at that level. He had 3 of the 4 workouts were inside the top 5, and as a comparison, the rest of the top 10 only had 4 combined. So he already had just as many top 5 finishes as basically the rest of his peers. His one bad finish came in workout number 3. He was just 8 double unders and a handstand walk away from jumping up 20 plus spots in that one. So with a few extra seconds, we could have seen him at the very overall top competing with Kyle Kasperbauer, and being able to notch some top 5s like that certainly grabs my attention.
One of the best matchups in the Masters categories is going to be in the 40 to 44-year-old division, and that's where Shawn Ramirez is back to defend his multiple titles, but he does not come in as a top seed. That belongs to Neal Maddox. He won 3 of the 4 qualifier workouts. Ramirez is second with 34 points, and then Mike Eberts and Robbie Perovich are right behind him. But Shawn Ramirez is probably the most dominant Masters athlete that we have seen. He is batting 1,000 as far as it is concerned as getting to the Games and then winning. He's a 4-time Games competitor, 4-time champion. He has 13 Masters Games event wins, but again, he comes in not as a top seed, and I think most people are looking at Neal Maddox to be the favorite here, but Shawn Ramirez just shows up on game day, so you can never count him out.
No doubt, and I think he's already situated himself, in my mind, as the greatest Masters athlete ever to do it, at least at this point in time. You mentioned those 4 titles, 4 consecutive titles. He's the first and only Masters athlete to do that, and you made the best point I think you could have, Sean. He is an absolute gamer. He performs when it matters most. Going into the final 2 days of competition last year, he wasn't in first. He was behind Robbie Perovich, but his next 5 events, a first, 3rd, a 2nd, and then 2 event wins to close out the competition. That is what we call clutch, and that's how you want to perform if you're a multi-year Masters champ, and it's going to be, again, it's going to be another challenge to try and knock him off the top of the podium.
I think for most of the time leading up to this, we said, okay, this is going to be a 2-horse race between Ramirez and Neal Maddox, but you've already mentioned the other guy who could slide into that race.
Yeah, there are definitely 2 athletes that are going to be fast on his heels trying to give him a run for the top spot, if you will. And the first one, Neal Maddox. Here's a guy who just a few years ago, still in a Masters level age, was competing as an individual at the CrossFit Games. He's an athlete with his freakish strength and skill set. He gets better as the workouts get more complex and harder as we upgrade to that games level programming. And then Robbie Perovich, the runner-up last year to Shawn Ramirez, halfway through the competition, he was in first place. He was in the driver's seat at the top of the leaderboard. He stumbled in the final two events, which ultimately gave Ramirez the championship. But still, to be at that level and push one of the best ever to ever do it to the brink, in my opinion, automatically qualifies you for the next year as one of the contenders.
Yeah, that is going to be an absolute blast to watch. Let's move on to the 45 to 49-year-old division, where Steve Johnson wins the online qualifier, but he is not competing this year. Julio Silvino is the top seed with 41 points. Artur Komorowski is just 1 point back of him. And then 13 points separate second from fifth place, and that's Robert Davis, who is also the defending champion, but it looks like he's going to have his work cut out for him as he tries to defend that title.
Yeah, and he's not the top guy in the Open or the qualifier this year, but that's okay because he wasn't the top qualifier from the Masters Online qualifier last year or the top guy in the Open as well. But he handled business when he got to Madison, and that's what's most important. And you look at the level of consistency he showed when he was there. Every single event in 8th place or better. No other athlete could have said that. There's two newcomers ahead of him in this division that are new to this division. But if there's one thing I think Robbie can really lean on, is his experience. It's his sixth time to the CrossFit Games. He's already podiumed twice, and he should be going in there with the mentality that he's looking to back-to-back championships.
Who's someone that looks to really have a good chance of challenging him?
Well, it's the top seed with Steve Johnson not going. That's Julio Silvino. He was actually a Games athlete last year in the Masters division, a division below this in the 40 to 44. You know, we've talked about at length for many times how being the young guy in the division can do wonders for you. Last year, he was 15th at the Games as the old guy of the bunch in the 40 to 44. Now he gets to be the spring chicken, if you will. He's already had a career best in the online qualifier with a second place. Now the big question is, can he back it up? Because he did well in the qualifier last year, but then kind of bombed at the Games. So now let's see if he can back it up and push Robert Davis.
3 Masters divisions there on the men's side that are all going to be a blast to watch and are going to be very tough to pick. We want you to do some picking as well. You can go to Reebok.com/pick'em, and if you select the top 10 men, top 10 women, and top 5 teams in the correct order, you will win not one, but $2 million. Remember, last year we had the same competition and no one picked a perfect bracket. If you do it this year, we've rolled the prize money over, so $2 million on the line if you nail all 10 men, women, and all top 5 teams in the final standings at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games at Reebok.com/pick'em for that. If you want to still head to Madison, Wisconsin to see the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games, you can do that. Tickets are still available. We still have festival tickets on sale. You will basically get to see everything with one of those tickets. You just will not be able to get into the Coliseum. But never fear, because if you're not in the Coliseum, you still get to watch the action on one of the big screens that we will have throughout the Alliant Energy Center. And if you need a place to stay when you get to Madison, Wisconsin, go to CrossFitHotels.com and we will hook you up with that. And remember, Dave Castro just recently announced on social media that the majority of the team competition will be outside of the Coliseum, so a festival ticket, you basically get to see the entire team competition as well. That is going to do it for us for this week. We will be back next week with more previews for the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. For Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland, and we'll see you next time.